Hello everyone, and welcome to the Off the Books Black Site Classroom. Today we'll be talking about the first entry into the new DC Universe, Creature Commandos, which is not bad. Creature Commandos is about a plucky, quirky team of super and less super villains dispatched by the US government to carry out Black Ops missions under threat of torture or even death. Now, I don't know if you've been under some sort of rock of eternity for the past decade of DC content, but this is one of their favorite things to do. Ever since Suicide Squad 2016 made way more money than it should have, not just from the box office, but from the endless amount of merchandise sold at Spirit Halloweens in the years after, this formula of lovable villains coming together not to fight for the government that sanctioned them, but for each other, has been one of DC's favorites, and mine too. My biggest issue with it is that it's now a formula. After
on a live
Squad in 2016, an animated movie, the soft reboot in 2021, the all but failed live service game, an alright animated show, and now, Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos may, at this point, be a bit of a worn road with DC Studios, but it's also the first entry into the new interconnected gun regime DC Universe, so maybe it was a good idea to go with a more established formula to get us all started on the right foot. And hey, after all, it's not bad. Is what I thought after the first episode. But now I feel confident saying Creature Commandos is actually pretty damn good. So let's get started with the first phase of the DC Universe, Gods and Monsters. A good intro will do a lot for a show, and man, I have not skipped this one even once. It's really good. Creature Commandos sees Rick Flag Sr. lead a team of less than human beings on a Black Ops mission in Pokolistan, one of DC's 1,000 Eastern European countries they invented during and after the Cold War. Much like their 1,000 Latin American and 1,000 Middle Eastern countries made in the same time for the same reasons, but hey, that's a different video. Like any ensemble anything, Creature Commandos will be made or broken by how much you like this cast of monsters, so let's start with who may be my favorite, one of the most iconic monsters in all of cinema, the Bride of Frankenstein.
My love.
Indira Varma as the Bride is probably the closest thing Creature Commandos has to a main character. Pretty much every member of Task Force M gets an episode kinda dedicated to them, but the Bride is the only one with at least her own B-plot in pretty much every episode. The Bride isn't just great to watch in the show's many Europunk-scored action scenes, though she is an absolute joy in those, but she is a great character to introduce us to the show. She establishes what the DCU government considers not human, which is so bogus because she's literally made of several humans, and reminds us that characters like Frankenstein, Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon, all got into the public domain before the House of Mouse established intellectual property castle doctrine, so they're fair game. The monster being an r/nice guy throughout time also shows us one of Creature Commandos' first quirky rock-scored flashbacks. The monster chasing the Bride throughout history, believing her to be his bride, gives us characterization for both of them, and plenty of outfit changes. Wait, so who's on the Nazi side?
They will be dispatched of, in short order.
Oh, no, GI, you're good, buddy, you're good. Not yet. Nina Mazursky, simply referred to as Nina, is a kind, caring fishwoman. While most members of the Commandos do get at least some joy from the wanton destruction and violence they've been sanctioned for, Nina just kinda wants to make friends. She's voiced by Zoe Chow, most known from The After Party and Party Down. Wow, Zoe is a partier. She's really funny and a good straight fishwoman for the crazier characters like the Bride and G.I. Robot, and finally got me to understand why people like the Shape of Water. And Poland. But you know the actual problem with the show? It's just, it's too woke, and it's too woke, and there's too many women. The wokeness is terrible. Okay, GI, I got them all in here for you.
Get ready to die, Nazis!
GI? No!
The first member of the voice cast in the ever-expanding orbit of the James Gunn star system is his very own dad's very own other son, which some people call brothers, Sean Gunn. Gunn voices G.I. Robot and provides guttural noises for a character we have yet to talk about, but I love G.I. But I don't love having to say G.I. over and over again, so we will be pretending that G.I. Robot stands for Gary Ignatius Robot. Gary is probably the funniest character on the team, only maybe being beaten out by the glowing skeleton. His origins with the DC-ified version of the Real Easy Company from the European theater of World War II gave him plenty of Nazis to kill. I don't know why the bastards never tried to recruit him, but Gary fits in fantastically with the non-humans of Task Force M, which thank God, because watching him lose Easy Company and then being adopted by white supremacist Michael Rooker, Gary Ignatius Robot really deserved a win. I would talk about Gary more, but this video is gonna be pretty non-spoiler. Is that a spoiler? As I mentioned, the uncle of James Gunn's dog, Sean Gunn, provides the guttural noises for, behind Amanda Waller, the most recurring member of the team, Weasel.
Oh boy.
Weasel is, unsurprisingly, the least substantial member of the team. As a non-verbal, pot-bellied, bipedal weasel, his ability for narrative depth is slightly stunted. Weasel is mostly used for slapstick humor and the occasional maiming of a villain or henchman. However, as James Gunn is fantastic at, he's able to inject both humor and humanity into even the grossest characters, like the beautiful story of Weasel killing 27 children. Honestly, the more I talk about the show, the more I like it, and we still have one more team member to talk about. The man who killed my father.
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
Dr. Phosphorus is a mean-spirited, violent, hilarious, irradiated skeleton from the hometown of all the best DC villains, beautiful Gotham City. Voiced by Alan Tudyk, one of my favorite actors, not just from movies like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, 3:10 to Yuma. He also plays The Flash, Green Arrow, Superman, Mr. Nobody, Alfred, the Joker, Clayface, Ocean Master, and now, Dr. Phosphorus. I think this guy may like DC. Or at least DC's money. While I'm pretty sure the Bride is still my favorite character, Phosphorus really gives her a run for her money, and she broke an ankle the first time she tried to run, so maybe he will win. Phosphorus is hilarious, unsurprisingly given Tudyk voicing him, and after his best joke from Batman Beyond going viral several times, I'm not shocked that they leaned into the comedy of his character. Every member of Task Force M has an origin episode. We see the Bride beat up Frankenstein over the decades, G.I. Robot goes to the least racist social club in Montana, and Phosphorus was like a comically good dude. A doctor trying to cure cancer who also risks his own life to try and stop a fascist regime from acquiring nuclear arms. If only it was just his own life at stake. When Dr. Alexander Sartorius and his family were murdered by one of the many Gotham mobs, he returned from the nuclear grave as Dr. Phosphorus. Whether it's in his revenge flashback or the present day of the show, Phosphorus is incredibly fun to watch fight. He scorches off faces and melts off limbs with attitude. And since I've covered every interesting member of Task Force M, let's get into some other things I liked about the show, starting with While the animation style may not be my favorite, this show does look really nice, especially the lighting, and especially the action scenes with Phosphorus. I mentioned the theme already, which I've been whistling to the local birds on my local walks, but the soundtrack isn't half bad. This is as James Gunn as a James Gunn property gets, so alongside the ensemble cast and pee-pee poo-poo jokes, there is of course plenty of licensed music from the eclectic library he keeps below his blindingly white hair. These don't always hit at the exact right times, but some of them feel so off-kilter that they just land perfectly for this show. My favorites probably being Start Wearing Purple and Coin-Operated Boy. I also appreciate the other DC characters that get a look in this show. I don't really care for the dumb royal family we have to hang out with, but that's okay. Amanda Waller is fantastic as always, and while I do love Viola Davis's take on the character, I would honestly be fine with another actress giving it a shot, even though James Gunn clearly wants these characters to cross over with their voice actors. I don't think they have to. Though one character who should definitely be played by their voice actor if they come into live action for some reason is Frankenstein's monster, played by David Harbour. Harbour turns the classic monster into a needy loser, not just for the love of the bride, but for even the friendship of Rick Flag Sr. But they also retain his moderate intelligence from the novel, an aspect of the character that is often forgotten.
I can't just stand by while she's murdered, cold blood.
No, not with this great love at stake.
Okay.
The two of you, like Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet in Titanic. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, not many people have.
The final character I'm really happy got a look in for this series is Cersei. I haven't read much Wonder Woman to be honest, but I love her character and overall lore. And one of the best ways to raise a character's stocks is to make their villains more popular, and I really like this version of Cersei. Oh yeah, and Clayface also shows up. Always love seeing you, Basil. Or Matt, or Preston, or Sandra. It could be Cassius too, maybe Peter, possibly Todd. Johnny, perchance? But Rick Flag Sr. is super bland. He actually feels more like the father of the 2016 Rick Flag than the cool one. But we could have had more cool DC characters if we didn't have a stupid royal family to care about. Why does DC always insist on making me care about a fictional royal family? I wish they were all dead. Creature Commandos is just a solid James Gunn DC ensemble property. It has a bit of a different flavor from his Suicide Squad with a little more gothic monster stuff and a little more off-kilter music, but overall Creature Commandos is what it is, and what it is not bad, or even at times, pretty damn good. I would really recommend checking out Creature Commandos if you're a fan of James Gunn's previous superhero work or just DC animation. But folks, that is the video for this week. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye. Hey folks, thank you so much for joining me as always. If you made to this point in the video, a double thank you very much. I'm doing this quickly because my hand is very cold. What I have to show off for my collection this week is a cup of snow. We're having serious snow and ice storms in Kansas, so I thought I'd save a little memory of that here. Yeah, I like Creature Commandos quite a bit so far. This cup is insanely cold. I don't want to put it down though. This is a bit of a challenge. Oh my god, it's so cold. Oh, I can't even think of something mildly funny to say. Oh my god, the ice is in my bones at this point. Oh, no one has ever suffered like this in many generations. Creature Commandos is good. I like it a lot. The Bride and Dr. Phosphorus are my favorite characters, as I've said. There's one more episode left as I'm filming this. I'm so glad I'm right-handed. Losing my left hand it'll be more of a gift than a burden. in many ways. So I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching that video. Got fun stuff coming up. Goodbye.